The timeless guitar question. We're picking one electric and one acoustic. What's the guitar that represents music and the one you're gonna hand down to your kids? Hey, it's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
We're here talking about the guitar.
The guitar.
The guitar that, that each one of us thinks. I'll start first. And we're gonna do electric and then we're gonna do acoustic. But we have one electric guitar that you think represents, the history of rock and roll a bit, or like your flavor, your love of it, and the one you'd want to hand down to your kids, or like you put in the time capsule. I almost call it the time capsule guitar.
The time capsule guitar.
I'm gonna have to, of course, go with a classic Stratocaster, the Fender.
Of course you would.
I was a classic Sunburst Stratocaster too, like no frills.
Rosewood or maple board?
It's tricky because I play mainly Rosewood, but I might have to say a classic sort of 50s style maple.
Like kind of mid 50s. Okay.
54 to 57 sort of range maybe is like. I feel like that that represents like the sort of the introduction of the new rock and roll guitar, like that changed everything.
Some Buddy Holly vibes.
Definitely some Buddy Holly vibes, but I love the Rosewood board, but the classic Sunburst Stratocaster. 1954 design, the beginning of the space race. It's just it came as pop culture moment of history. The guitar is, I think it's one of the most natural and easiest guitars to play. The way it's built, the ergonomics of it is unbelievable. Leo took his great design of the T, and then he said, let's get some body contours in that. Let's add an extra pickup. Let's make it, you're looking versus the Les Paul too, like, which I love. This is a tricky one. But your hand is on the body as you play. You sort of have that connection with the wood. You have the ability to repair and fix it a lot easier. You have so many tonal options that are great, not just sticky. It's just, that'd be my choice.
It's not a bad choice. And I think I could,
The only choice, but continue.
I could be okay with that. I think I could make an argument for the Telecaster.
Oh, cool.
Just
so we're both going Fender.
No, we're not.
Oh.
I said I think I could make an argument.
I think the Strat beats the Tele.
But I think maybe a Les Paul. And I'll tell you why.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, like, I love Fender. I do. I love Teles, and I love Strats. I played my Strat this weekend, and it was phenomenal. There just seems a little more to a Les Paul. Like the craftsmanship. And you're right. It's easier to work on a Strat. There's a lot of things you said that are true, right? But there's something about the Strat is like my pickup truck. It gets me where I want to go.
I agree.
It's amazing.
But there's something more to like even a Gretsch hollow body. But
yeah,
I don't think that lives.
But I don't think Gretsch lives in that. Gretsch is like
that's
amazing, but it's off in the corner somewhere.
Or
or
a D'Angelico original. Yeah. But that's the ultimate of craftsmanship.
But that's not the only criteria. I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's like, but Les Paul is still. It's friggin' Jimmy Page. It's Joe Walsh. It's all these.
He only played with one band that people know about.
It's true. Whatever.
Eric Clapton played with every band that people know about. Okay, I love
with
Jimmy.
Les Paul.
I'm a Jimmy Page. I'm a Jimmy Page obsessive. He's my man. I think he's probably the coolest rock star, start to end. He hasn't screwed up his legacy. He's the jam. Somebody's like, yeah, he has. He's been crazy. Bad, but he shuts up about it. He just keeps his mouth quiet. He's cool. So there's that. Whatever.
But no, I just think there's something a little classier when we're talking about the electric guitar, the binding, the card top.
I agree with all. I agree with all that. But I'd say let's just take it as not handing down to our kids thing, but like historically, I'd probably say the Stratocaster has more of a cultural noticeability.
I think that's true.
Like that design of the Stratocaster is like that's what everyone that doesn't play guitar knows as a guitar.
Because even though it doesn't have the traditional like acoustic sort of shape. People see that and they think guitar, and it's the most copied.
And every other
design. So I will give you that. I'm sort of with you on that.
No, but if you don't get me wrong, if I had to have one, I want a 1959 Burst.
Well, yeah, like
my kids,
if somene's handing out, exactly.
Son, you're retired. You don't have to work for the rest of your life.
No,
if you have a 59 Burst you'd like to donate to my children's retirement fund, I'm all ears. Please. No, I think these are both great choices. I'd be happy with the Strat and the Les Paul.
You could be happy with it.
That represents
either one,
rock and roll. Electric guitar use, the Spanish guitar, the electric style Spanish guitar. Or if you're playing the Jimmy Page double neck, the electric double neck Spanish guitar.
But I mean, I do think it has to be the Strat for Fender. It has to be the Les Paul for Gibson. I don't think there's any other real choices. Not
but
really.
the Jazzmaster was more expensive.
Stupid. Shut up.
I love those offset weird things.
I love them, and I love 335s. I just don't think it's quite as iconic as a Les Paul.
No, I think those two. Okay, so
And I would rather play a 335, but I just think, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put the gauntlet down. Those are the choices. We're not open for any more options.
That's it. Done.
That's it. You can't. We don't.
We've spoken. These guys suck. Who do they think they are?
We're nobody. That's just our opinions because we're idiots.
Yeah.
That'd be something like it's got to be the Ibanez, the Steve Vai. I'm like, well,
God.
I mean, he is awesome. That'd be something I'd want to have if the '90s were the only decade. Acoustic.
I saw something the other day, and it was Joe Bonamassa talking on a Gibson video, and people in the comments like, "Who does this guy think he is? He doesn't have any right to have an opinion." I'm like, I think Joe Bonamassa probably does on guitar.
I think he does. Love or hate him, he's got a right to the opinion. So
there you go.
The Forum Warriors. Your opinions don't matter as much as Joe Bonamassa's. Yeah, mine doesn't matter as much as Joe Bonamassa's when it comes to Gibson. He'll forget more about Gibson than I'll ever know.
He's just a copy of all the players before. I mean, yeah.
I love when people say, or when people be like, I'm gonna get Stewie Vaughan's tone. I hear I want that tone. It's like, it doesn't matter if you play through his rig, you can't get his tone. He's a god.
It's just the way he
was a demigod. I'll play the rest of my life. I'll never get Stewie Vaughan's tone. I have an amp that was tweaked out by Caesar and stuff. Not like a meth tweaking.
Doesn't matter.
Acoustics.
Same thing. It's all the same.
There's such a plethora of acoustics. Historically, it's going to cut out a lot of brands already because if they're not old enough, I'm not going to consider it an option. Even though
Sorry, Alvarez. I'm just kidding.
Even though
actually they might be really old. I don't know.
Even though we were having because Nintendo's 1890s. It's not a guitar maker, but it might as well be. I mean. If they can make video games, fishing boats, and four-wheelers, they don't, but Yamaha does. So don't mess with Yamaha, baby.
Red label for life.
No, because Sean was saying for some of these younger cats too, a classic guitar to them is the Silver Sky. Because because they don't know the Strat.
The Acoustasonic Silver Sky. That's not a thing. Maybe that could be a thing. I shouldn't even say such things.
I just got a sort of strange feeling in my stomach when you said that. That's just don't give them any ideas.
Sorry.
We already have enough bad ideas out there. But I'm gonna have to go with the historical brand, and so it really leads us to two. There's Gibson, and then there's Martin. For me, just because the joy, and I own both, multiple versions of each too. I'm gonna probably have to go with the Martin D28. I was leaning between HD28 and D28, and I love the Triple Aught 28 too.
Yeah,
it's tricky, but
that is very classic, right? That is
classic.
Could you make an argument for the D18?
Yes, you could. It's
I feel you could. You know what I mean? Because a lot of great songs have been written on the D18.
And even now, as time has gone forward, the Ds are not as popular as the Triple O's now. So the Triple O's, that's more what I actually personally play. But I'm thinking about a time capsule that we're leaving forward to the aliens.
Well, I mean, I'd love to have a D28 or 18 or any of that. I like the Dreadnoughts, but I'm going to go back to even talking about Eric Clapton. When you see him playing Martin acoustics, which I think has become a pretty iconic thing.
Yeah, you're right.
It's triple aughts. It's that size.
That was my battle in my heart.
Or and then you see it's
hard to say not a Gibson J45 either.
I was going to say I think with Gibson it's a J45.
And I have the Hummingbird, the 65. We love the J200s. We love them all. But the J45 seems to... It's just something forget aesthetics, forget looks, forget all of this. And we love the Triple O's. But when you play a good D28...
Oh, it's amazing. I think it's only a matter of that's big for some people. But when you strum a friggin' D28 or you do a little flat pick thing and it just...
When I'm showing people guitars and they're interested in a Martin, let's say, if you start with a D, there's nothing else that will work. So I have to show them the other pieces first, almost, just so that their ear, because it's not because it's better, it's just so powerful and so loud and so rich. It's hard to go if you play a D28 and then you play a triple O or not even triple O, a single lot or a double lot.
Which are great guitars.
I love them. That's what I play primarily.
And they have their own awesome tone, but perceived volume is perceived tone.
Goodness.
If it's louder, you're going to think it sounds better. 99% of the time.
It's the compression battle of the 90s during recording from Oasis to all the bands of that time. Louder is better. It's so hard.
But I will say, man, I think there has been this resurgence or this uptick in like the J45 in the public consciousness of guitar.
I agree.
I heard it.
I agree.
You know that new, you probably don't, the new Luke Combs song, or it's not new, but it's
Who is that? Fast Car?
No.
Is that him?
That is him.
Thank you.
I'm covering it, but
which is weird though. Besides you going like, because Tracy Chapman's is the original, and Luke Combs doesn't change the words. That he still sings it as a female,
it's kind of awesome.
which is also weird. It's just funny to me because I was listening to it in Wall Files the other day. I was like, oh, he didn't change the words.
It's like John Prine when he wrote Angela Montgomery. I am when he says I'm a woman, basically. But anyways, it's fine. But there's one, it's called like Out Where the Wild Things Are, and he's like, I brought an Airstream trailer and a J45 guitar, and every time I hear that song, I'm like, my God, I need a Gibson guitar. Yeah, I mean, because you get this feeling. And he's also talking about like an Indian motorcycle in the song, and you're like, God, I just want an Indian and a J45.
An Indian motorcycle. I mean, like, so we all love motorcycles here at Casino Guitars. Like, we don't all own them, but we just love the culture of Americana with it. We love Indians. I love classic Harley Davidsons. I love a Triumph too. I know it's not the same thing; it's different. But I love the old BMW bikes, like the ones with the sidecars. That's super cool. Crotch rockets, I don't get into as much, even though one of our dear friends, old Ron, he's the only guy I know that's expertly crashed into a wall of tires at almost 160 miles per hour and lived to tell the tale. He's our crotch rocket king. We love him. But no, there's nothing quite like as Americana feeling as that.
But I think you couldn't go wrong with either of those. You couldn't go wrong with J45 or like D28.
So we're gonna put our time capsule. A 1950s Stratocaster two-tone sunburst, probably, with a proper burst 59.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. And then acoustic-wise, we're gonna put some type of 28, probably a D28, and maybe
a J45.
Maybe a triple O.
Maybe a triple O.
Maybe a triple O and then J45. That makes sense if we only have like two. I think that's the answer.
All right.
Stay tuned. We're gonna have a video on which ukulele and which banjo. We're just kidding. That's not a thing. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
And just have fun out there. Enjoy your lifetime guitars, heirloom guitars forever. Peace be with you.
Goodbye.